Hello students, you are welcome to the fifth session of Unit 5. In this session, we are looking at ways of encouraging students to participate in lessons. Let's look at the session objectives. At the end of this session, you should be able to identify some strategies that you can use as a teacher to encourage your students to participate meaningfully in your mathematics classrooms. In our previous session, we looked at factors to consider in choosing mathematical examples and tasks. In order for effective implementation of the curriculum, and as we know, we are the implementers of the mathematics curriculum, mathematics teachers should see the students as being at the center of all your decision-making process. So what we are saying here is that you should see the students as your customers, and they should be at the center of any decision that you make in the course of your teaching. Effective teaching strategies to adopt in bringing the internal curriculum to enacted curriculum. So there are some effective teaching strategies that you as a mathematics teacher or prospective teacher should adopt in bringing the internal curriculum, which is set at the national level, to the enacted curriculum, which is the actual part of the curriculum that students have learned. So in this session, we shall be considering some strategies that will encourage your students to contribute meaningfully in your classrooms. You know, you don't have to be a teacher who sees yourself as a repository of all knowledge, standing in front of your children and giving them everything. No. Students must participate in the classroom to make it lively, and then you can have, students coming in to make your work very simple for you. So let's look at discourse in the mathematics classroom. And when we say discourse, it's an English word which I believe you understand. It's like having discussions, two or more people coming together to have discussions about how things should be. Effective mathematics teaching, students are engaged in discourse. So for effective mathematics teaching, you must engage your students in discourse. Thus, you must discuss. Mathematical discourse includes the purposeful exchange of ideas. So in discourse, you exchange ideas, either between the teacher and the students, or between students, or among students rather. So between you and your students, and then among the students themselves. Through classroom discussions, as well as through other forms of verbal, visual, and written communication. So we can do this through by engaging in classroom discussions, or in a form of classroom discussions can be in a form of visual, verbal. That is, you standing in front and you guys sharing ideas, or students sharing ideas among themselves verbally or visually, through maybe using technology. And then written communication, that is in a form of writing. The discourse in the mathematics classroom gives students opportunities to, so these are some of the advantages of engaging students in discourse. It gives opportunity to students to share ideas and clarify understandings. It also gives them the opportunity to construct convincing arguments regarding why and how things work. So not you telling them why things work, but they should, when they engage in discourse, they are able to be convinced. When you get something yourself, or you're able to understand something yourself, or make arguments, and then people also bring counter arguments, and then you come to a conclusion, you are able to understand it better. Then develop a language for expressing mathematical ideas, and also learn to see things from other perspectives. This is as from National Council of Teachers of Mathematics in the US, and they brought these things as some advantages of engaging students in discourse. The teaching and learning process should be seen as involving constant interaction between the teacher and students, and also among students, as I've said already. By inviting students to talk in your classroom, you are in a better position to direct their learning. So as I've already explained, if you engage students in discourse, you are making your work easier and even better, because you share ideas, you are able to see their thinking, and then try to, get everything in place. Getting your students to talk in your classroom is not easy if you do all the talking. So in getting your students to talk in the classroom, you don't do all the talking. You ask questions. You teach by asking questions, and then you get the ideas of your students. If students have come to learn that the teacher is to tell them what to do, then what happens? If the students have come to learn that the teacher is to tell them what to do, then they will not engage in any discourse. They will only be watching you whilst you present the concepts or the skills, whatever, to them, and then they go their way. So we must avoid, doing all the talking as mathematics teachers, but rather engage our students in discourse. So let's look at some suggested strategies that we can use to get students participate in our classrooms. So these strategies are from Rees et al. In 2009. So they investigated or researched into some of the strategies that can be used in the classroom to promote an effective mathematics discourse. And so I'm going to give you those strategies. The first one is create a classroom where explaining and justifying answers is the norm. So don't create a classroom where giving to students knowledge, giving to students concepts. Engage in discourse by explaining and justifying answers. So let students always explain their answers. Let them always justify their answers. In that way, they will be engaged or involved in your discussions. Make sure your mathematics class is a safe space for students to conjecture and make mistakes. So in your mathematics classroom, there's no wrong answer. All answers, ensure that all answers are welcome, and don't let students laugh at other students who make mistakes or bring or kind of answer questions wrongly. If you do that, students will not be comfortable in delivering or in talking in your class. So make sure the class is safe, and make sure every answer that students give is right, because they are going to explain and justify. So in the course of the justification and explanation, then they will all realize that no, this particular answer is not right. Then they can take it from there. Pose problems and assign tasks that encourage your students to talk about their mathematical thinking. So in the previous session, we talked about the kinds of tasks that we have to give to our students, and that will promote what they call participation. So make sure your teaching is not always textbook problems, always giving them, open to pay something, and no. Pose problems that will make them think, so that they can talk about it and come out with the way they are thinking mathematically. Explicitly teach mathematics vocabulary. Mathematics vocabulary plays a very important role in understanding and speaking mathematically. Mathematics is a language on its own. We have our vocabularies, products for the multiplication of 2 or 3 numbers or more numbers, and then we have addition, sum, all the vocabularies. When it comes to subtraction, subtrahend, minor, all those terms are mathematical vocabularies. So you must teach mathematics vocabularies to your children. Let them speak in class mathematically. So a student will say, when you times 2 numbers, no, you should use the right vocabulary, the product of 2 numbers. So we must make it a point to explicitly teach mathematics vocabularies. So these are the strategies proposed by Rees et al. In 2009 that we can use to encourage students or promote effective mathematics discourse in the classroom. We have come to the end of this session, and as usual, I will conclude by saying that getting students to actively involved also depends on the kinds of questions you pose. So the kind of questions you pose also makes your students, if you pose direct questions, what is this? find what is the solution to this. Those are direct questions. You have to pose questions that require a lot of conversation. So deep thinking and reflection. So students must think deeply and reflect. In that way, they are able to what? Contribute or engage actively in the class. As such, try to pose higher level questions so that students are engaged. So as I've already said. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this session, and I'll leave you with this question. State and explain 3 strategies you can use to promote effective mathematics talk in your classroom.